Good morning. How are you doing? Hope you are all okay. This is Smart Mint Business. Well, truly, before I talk about investment, I can as well remind you that Zabo, a platform by Alltech East Africa, is definitely here for you to invest in bonds and securities. Dial *292#, that is the USSD code for the MTN subscribers, and to quickly understand the scope of doing business from the world of Zabo. Zabo says, my money, my future. So let the money that you are having create a future for you as an individual. By using that USSD code, you'll definitely engage into economic activities that will see your money become something else. So let your money shape your future today by becoming more of an investor in the viable financial market space. With a minimum of 15,000 Ugandan shillings, Zabo gives you that advantage over the rest. So that is it. The markets will be open at 8:15 a.m. and they only close at 3:15 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays, these markets are closed and will be open only during working days, Monday to Friday, and also during days, and once the day is a public holiday, it will also not be open. But that is Zabo for you, powered by Alltech East Africa, which reminds you to do something new today. Okay, now our update this morning, we will definitely kickstart off here with is regarding investments. Government has been advised to focus on investing in the young people, the youth, as well as putting investments in sports. Because this is likely to create more employment opportunities that the government will definitely be proud of, to see that the country is developing in one way or the other. This sort of advice has been given to the government by Honorable Smb Agnes, the woman MP for Nebi district. Let's have more from this update.
Very much. I'm Smb Agnes, one MP. As you said it, that the government of Uganda is being advised to take to investments, which is a very good idea. But first of all, you would ask yourself, what kind of investment should the country go to? I personally see that there is one investment that the country has not tapped on. And I believe if we tap in that area, we are going to achieve. And we shall find out that we shall not have any able body who is redundant. First of all, I want to begin by giving the background of the demographic structures that we have in this country. We are saying that the majority of the population are the youths now. But one of the outcry outside there, of course, we have categories of youths. There are others who have gone to school, others have not gone to school. In other words, if they are to absorbed in the job market, we shall find the unskilled, semi-skilled, and the skilled. So one of the ways to involve all these youths, I find if we invest in sports, it will just come automatically. I'm trying to see that, even everybody is trying to see that. One of the things that unifies or brings Ugandans together is sports. And not only Uganda, but the world. And our youths are highly talented, except that we have not really tapped much in the sport world. So I'm believing that if as a country we can develop our infrastructures as far as sports is concerned, we are going to achieve a lot. Right now, as I talk, of course, we have different regions. When we take the northern region vis-a-vis other regions, when you take a move, you will never get youths in other parts of the country along the roadside. But if you go to northern region or West Nile region, you find the youths are really many redundant, seated there. But when there is any sports activity like football, you would see the overwhelming population of the youths. They are soccer lovers, they love sports, and we have different categories of sports. So as a government, if we would invest there, first of all, we are going to find out that the issue of unemployment will not be talked about, because the players themselves will be employed, the referees and others would also be employed. Then in a way, it will bring also income to the government, both foreign and the local income. And of course, if we develop our sports gadgets or the grounds very well, we can even host international games, which will bring a lot of foreign income. By the way, with sports in the country, we shall invest once and for all. And the rest of the thing will be now exploiting or getting the revenues that we are going to accrue from sports activity. Me being a sports lover, I feel if we invest in sports, all the problems of the country we are going to solve. Right now we are in World Cup. You see how active people are. People are very happy. People are aligned to those countries. So it brings everybody together. So the first investment, and which I stand for, is to develop or invest in sports. And for sure, it will act as a source of income, source of employment to the government. And we shall be at peace. No hooliganism, because everybody will be fixed somewhere. Because everybody or people have different talents all over this country. I believe that is what I can give, apart from others that
And basically, looking at investing in the young people is something that the government of Uganda has forever been advised to do. Well, just recently here, we had a report regarding the fact that President Evariste Ndayishimiye of Burundi was hoping to invest in the youth and young people's tech startups as well as the world of innovation. You know why? Because these are the young people, the youthful people with a lot of energy, and the only challenges some of them have is they lack the money to kickstart off their investment journey or to kickstart off their businesses. And that is why most people remind governments to do so effectively. Why? Because at the end of it all, you will find that the expense that you'll be saving the nation by investing in the young people will be seen after a period of 5 or 10 years. Because at the end of the day, these young people are going to start up with investments that are going to run in the long run. Basically, if you look at seeking for only the people who are actually in there already, these are people in the next 10 years who will be clocking their retirement age. And that means any other thing that they are going to be doing is not going to help or benefit the nation, because at the end of it all now, for them, they are doing something that is going to be benefiting them. Not for their children, but for them as individuals. But well, pretty much situations when you get to a point in time where you want to understand how are the things done, what is the best way to move forward at the end of it all, it is what you need to do and how you need to do it, apparently. But when you look at that, this is likely to create more employment opportunities, taking back entities from private players, and it will cause employment gap fears. That is according to the Woman MP Nebi district, that they wish government should heavily invest in the young people. But now, besides that, let's get into the press review this morning and see what is making headlines from the print media as well. And now with the press preview, we start with the New Vision, where there is a headline regarding fees hike. Experts want schools sanctioned this morning. This is a report coming in from the New Vision reminding parents where experts feel schools should be sanctioned over this same cause of school fees. Then also on the other hand, we look at President Museveni and the US Undersecretary have discussed continental issues. Which issues have been discussed in here? These have been issues that have actually included looking at restoring peace and stability in Eastern Africa, in the East African region. These are some of those that have been highlighted. So if you are to look at that, we should be expecting more. Then there is more electricity towers being vandalized. That is another report this morning from the New Vision. Which are those and why and what is the government doing to ensure that this should not continue? You can find it in the New Vision. this particular morning if you are to go through the other situation. Now, the cabinet has intervened in Persis Namuganza's essential as cabinet reveals that the case was based on personal differences. That is one which is in there. Now, NGO wants Rugunda and officials to mediate in Namuganza case, where members of parliament want Minister Persis Namuganza censored as well. Then also Sewava, who is Saapolo Kagwa School's owner, leaves mark on education sector. How then will you be able to see that as unless you get yourself a copy from here? Uganda Airlines CEO is set to head a continental body according to the New Vision this particular morning. Now also with the daily paper, looked at inside, there is a story regarding a top lawyer and UPDF pilot gold scam story. You can find it with the daily paper here, something that you should be looking at. Then when you see more of that in the daily paper, then from the side of the New Vision this morning, business regarding that situation, United States has signed a 15 billion deal, 15 billion US dollar deal with African leaders, as the US President Joe Biden says his administration officials have signed multiple deals with African leaders, which is worth 15 billion US dollars. And as we continue to look at what is coming in from here, the World Bank strikes optimistic economic chord for Uganda. That is according to the Daily Monitor. Which chord is that? You can see more about that. Also, the Daily Monitor has a report regarding the fact that the economy is set to grow at 5% in 2023. That is still according to the World Bank. That is something that you should be looking at here. So, turn to local donors. NGOs have advised Ugandans to turn to local donors as well. NRM seeks to reconcile among and Namuganza. That is a report in here as well. Government has been tasked to check quality of sanitary pads that are being donated to the learners. This is a health report, one that everyone needs to get to know about. Then Commission seeks to regulate school fees increment. That is also a report that the New Vision had in regards to the fact that school fees and tuition increment is becoming unbearable in most of the learning institutions, which is making it even worse for the parents who cannot be able to at least fund or support their children to go to school financially in one way or the other. So that is it from the press review this morning, and you can definitely get more of that from the various sets of print media within the country. That is to look through and see what is making headlines out of that report, or what is there to look at in regards to the kind of business stories that you should be knowing well. And of course, we are heading into the festive season. Like I did tell you, it has now started raining in and around Kampala. So that means if I told you you're still home, it is high time for you to at least set your foot out, but plan accordingly. Get your jacket on, get your sweater, get your coat on, an umbrella with you. Remember to carry those with you, or maybe grab a flask with some tea or coffee to kickstart off your journey as you're heading home. These are some of the things that you should be having at the back of your mind, that, well, as I'm heading out, it is raining, I have to prepare accordingly. It will be good for me as an individual, and that is what you should be expecting. But this week has entirely been a cold one, and it's only yesterday, I believe, that did not experience some rains in the morning. By the other days, from Monday till now, it did rain and it did shower in most parts of the country. So you should be expecting a rainy festive season. How are you going to cope up with it? So just plan ahead of any weather changes in one way or the other. So that is the same situation that is coming in here for the business community to at least favorably know how to prepare for their working day. It's a Friday, 16th of December, and surely a day where you have to reflect on lots of things, especially how your week has been, if at all you're going into the weekend. I'm Joram Paul Sonko, this is Smart Means Business, and you're watching Smart 24 TV. Our Go TV channel is channel 394, DSTV is channel 372. When I return after the break, I will be heading to Karibu, East Africa, where we look at the stories making headlines across the East African Community region. And not only that, we also look at stories making headlines away from the region by looking at the continental reports as well as the global space in regards to the business perspective. Stick around. Good morning.